Good morning. I'm here with Madame Safi, but I need to go and get a coffee. So that's what I'll be doing while, can you see her? While she is monitoring the table. And I'll be back in just a few. So let's start with something that sounds good. Like it's the song that I love. It's called Happy Life. Gosh, I can't believe it. I just made it in the nick of time. So anyway, here are the candies for all of us. I don't know if this music is going to play one more time. I guess it will. So give me a second, because I don't think you can hear me. But let me get this mic on this side. Hello. Happy Halloween, guys. This is Halloween edition, as you can probably see from what we have here on the table. Everyday Witch, it's my favorite Halloween deck. How's everybody, guys? Let me just turn this off, not to be interfering with all of us and what we have to say, because I know for some other people this can kind of like really set you off the track. So who was here first? I believe Lynn. Hello, Lynn. She came on and off. Knitting Yogi, of course. Good morning. Happy Saturday to everybody. Hi, Barbie. Steady Movement. Are you the first time? Hi, Steady Movement. What sign are you? Let us know so we kind of have an idea. Hi, Hazel. And we have some newbies. Hi, on Auntie Jenny Richardson. Good morning. Happy Halloween to you too. Oh, it's your first time. Like, good to hear. So, guys, the newbies, please tell us your sign. Please tell us. But it will be ideal that we know your sign, that we know your sun, that we know your moon sign, and just let you know when you're on live. Basically, every message can be yours for any sign because you guys are little kind of antennas and channels, and it all comes from you. So, I am getting this deck. I'm wondering if I should get any other deck. Here are little signs if we need to. And of course, I don't know where my pen is. Yes, it is. I have been cleaning for the last week. I got a bad case of, I don't know if you know what it is, plantar fasciitis. I believe it's pronounced fasciitis or fasciitis or something like that. Meaning like I have a really, really bad heel pain and can barely walk on my left foot. And that's probably because I broke a right ankle years ago. So, oh, we have a Sagittarius here. I didn't think like we have a Sagittarius in a while. So that's good to know. So I was really thinking, because this is an ideal time to actually really get messages, and really get messages from, almost like it feels like we need a little messages from the dark side, not only from the light side, but we always want to get, oh, what is your higher power? Where are you going? How about down and dirty? And that's kind of like where we will go into that kind of like into that underworld and into kind of like all the motivational kind of like a thing, so we can look at things from that way. I also wanted to kind of like put forward in front of you a study, and I kind of like I'm debating with one question, and I would like to know what you think about it. I'm not going to tell you what question is. So you see, this is kind of like how my readings look like. So you're going to kind of like sit in my chair, and I'm going to kind of shuffle the cards, but you're going to be giving me the answers. But not only the answer, but you need to tell me why. What do you see that you think it's kind of like what you think it should be? So I'm going to tell you in the end what it is. It is not of a romantic nature, so I'm going to help you with that one. But I don't know if I should even use witch cards. So let's do that. Let's use the witch cards for that as well. I'm wondering which other deck I should use, if I even have to. So I did find my wild unknown tarot, but only one. I still have two of them missing, and the only one I found was in a little kind of like it's a card, but it's not a whole package, which is really, really bizarre. And I guess more things got lost than I anticipated, but at least I found these cards, which kind of like really sucks, because I also actually really loved their book and their explanation, which really sounded good. But as I'm still unpacking, kind of like things will come through. So let's start this very first part with that inquiry. I'm going to put some cards down, so you're going to see certain things are going to evolve in a positive way or not. So let's start. I'm actually focusing on me. This is like where it becomes difficult when you read for yourself. You read what you want to read. So we have Page of Cups, and then we have the moon. Oh, look at it, how lovely moon it is. We have the kitty cat, but we have Matrix. This is like Matrix, who wants to be like a little jaguar, and this is kind of like lovely. Let's see what else we did. Hello, Kelsey. Then we have Page of Pentacles, and then we have this Seven of Swords. I don't know, is this easier for you? I don't know if this is really easy, because you might not know this deck. Maybe I'm better off grabbing a regular deck. Let me do this Let me grab this one for a second and continue with this one. What about the cat deck for a second deck? Yep, cat deck could work, but I would not like to use one of my reader's deck. Let me see. Let me see this one, Cat's Eye Tarot. This is, I think, done by a vet, and it's not a good deck, but it's going to be good for a second one. And it's always sucks when everybody thinks they can kind of like go in the archetypes, but we can definitely have it here. It does give some idea. Is this a general reading for everyone? This first part, it isn't. It's actually a little kind of like study where we're actually making a group and we are kind of like just trying to merge together and connecting our spirits. So actually it's a reading for me. So you're going to give me an idea as what you see. So we have a Page of Cups, we have the Moon. So what do we see here? Somebody is artistic, there's a lot of enthusiasm here in this process. Let me see, should I just push it closer to me, the little tripod? Then we had the Moon, and the Moon is really interesting. There are like certain appearances that they have changed during the night glow. The witch is going behind, but this one is seeing it and probably even looking at it. Then we have the Page of Pentacles, which shows a dude on a crossroads. We see this like big castle on one side, but we do see a map on the other one. Of course, it's like the broom in both of the cases over here. You have the broom here as well. And then we have the Seven of Swords. And so he has, it's a 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And the 2 swords that are left behind are the one on the crest. So that's kind of like where this comes to play. So let's just put it here. And now I'm going to do 4 of the Rider-Waite. This one wants to come out. So it's a 4 of Swords. It's a 7 of Wands. It's the World reversed. And it is the Magician. So anybody wants to take a shot at it? What do you guys think? Is this going anywhere? Is this happening? Is this not happening? What is this all about? How do you think this is going to progress? And what are my chances in kind of like making strides about this matter? So anybody, guys, we can take a picture if nobody wants to do it, because you see, this is now you can see how I basically see the matter when I see any of your issues, any of your problems when I get the reading. That's basically what I see. Sometimes people challenge me, you know what, you don't know what it is, I don't want to tell you. You are the reader, you're the psychic, you should know. So I did kind of like removed the kind of like the kind of a general thing, and I can go and tell you, even there's no question. The question is this going to go forward? I think that will be the question. So ultimately, and is this really even important? What is this all about? So we have an emotional impact here clearly showing. There's a Page of Cups, there's the Moon over here, right? So we can see that. But this is like where it stops. There's like something that comes, Page of Pentacles is always about a study, it's about the long-term impact. But Seven of Swords is about being devious, doing something that is possibly underhanded, or it can be also seen as claiming what is rightfully yours. 4 of Swords, so these are the swords, right, that we see, and this is the air over here. So this is kind of like where it kind of gets interesting. We have the air, we have water, we have fire, right? We have earth. So basically all 4 are basically there, and as well they're summarizing the world, but the world is reversed. So this is not a good position to be in whenever the world is reversed, but it is landing on a Magician in the end. So this is basically what I have been getting as well when I'm kind of like doing the reading for me, and this is why I decided just like put it before you and kind of like get your 2 cents in all of that. So that's kind of like where the confusion maybe starts. Do you want me to clarify any card to kind of like get it closer, and what do you think? I can tell you in the end what my conclusion is, but I would like to see if anybody wants to say anything about it. And I'm seeing this is crooked. Let me try to go back to make it straight. Make it straight. Anybody? Nobody? Nobody? Oh, okay. Well, since nobody's chiming in, I guess I'm going to just drop it. Let's move forward with something that is probably more fun, and let's kind of like go in that direction. So, but I can tell you before we do, like I'm just going to count to 5 before, because I see delay from you. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That I see this being back in the square one for some reason. So clearly the world is like turning everything upside down. So this is the ending, and this could be the ending, and something kind of doesn't fit properly. 7 of Wands is somebody else wins, I guess, or they're rolling over you for some reason. Maybe it can be seen as a betrayal. 7 is very spiritual and saying this is not the right path, right? There is like needing you, I'll give you the roll upside down and think you will need to create something different. Well, the Magician says there is like this new beginning, so it lands on it. So it tells me that this direction is just not even a good direction to go. It is really talking about the organization, that I'm thinking, should I go and help? Should I not go and help? How to proceed with all of that, right? It's one of the really well-known structures that we have around the world, and I'm really debating about my involvement with them. And this pretty much is telling me sorry, I just need to put my socks up. It's telling me that could be a lots of infighting over there from the cards. It is really telling me that instead of like kind of like being dedicated to the mission as they're claiming outwardly in their paperwork, they're really in a very, very kind of like entry level of development. So it's not really what is being told. So that's what I see. Good morning, Chris. So Magician says yes, create something new, but Magician also says you actually have everything. You don't really need to prove anything or something. So that's going to be interesting, right? Hello, madam. Hello. Who had the love session with Tiger? Oh my God. He was actually hugging her, and because he doesn't understand how heavy his paw is on her, she was like, oh, 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 telling him, I don't even know if I took a picture in the morning. I think I did to show you this. So, come on, Safi. Oh, you have a dirty eye here. Let's remove this. Did you try to drink the coffee and you didn't like it? Yet. You didn't like it? Let's find a picture of Safi here. Let's find... What did you do? So this is her.
Oh no, it could not have been that.
Oh, who's that? Who's that? And that's Tiger. Whenever I say who's that, he kind of like loses his shit, right? So here I'm going to show you the series of pictures. So this was like from the last night. It was like the meeting of the minds. So you can see Matrix here. By the way, Matrix and Tiger had birthday last week. Tiger is 3. I would guess the Matrix is about 11 at this stage. So look at that. All of them kind of like meeting. So that was last night, yesterday. So this is Madame Safi this morning. I wanted to take a picture of her doing yoga. Look at that beautiful stretch that she does here. And of course she does all the stuff that cats do. And there it is. The tiger is joining in, and he just wants to say how much he loves her. And I didn't manage to get a picture when he put the paw on her. And she's like, but she did kind of like come and come back later to show him, oh, I know, dude, I love you. I just want to be with you. I adore you. Look at that. Look at that, cuties. So that's kind of like what is happening. His shift. Kind of like, what is his shift? And Tiger, oh my god, like, I mean, now that he's 3 years old, like, it's just so weird. I really have to start thinking that he actually understands what I'm telling him. Because when he was 1 year old, it was like this big procession making his birthday and celebration and everything. So he just basically didn't want to go in the crate. He just looked at me. He said, nope, I'm a big boy now. I'm not going back in the crate. I'm not sleeping in a crate. And that was it. I mean, I left it for maybe another month. He never went in there. And I just folded down. And that was the end of the crate. What was it at 2 years old? At the 2 years old was, I don't really remember, it was not something drastic, but at 3 years old was something that again was a big thing. So usually he's a Velcro dog. If I go to the next room, he's going with me. He's still quite a bit of Velcro, but now on his birthday, that day, for the first time in 3 years, he decided to be in a different room from me and actually sleep. That's actually right now he's leaving the room. That's very, very unusual. He always keeps me in his eyesight. So this is really, really cute. So that's kind of why it is. So his shift, as soon as you say, who's that? I know. Look at that. Who's that? Who's that? You see? The protector. Who's that? Go get him! Go get him! Go get him! Go! Who's that? I cannot. Hello, Lynn. It was nice to see you this morning. So, what I'm going to do, like, since we already had November messages, and I think I'm getting some messages in my mailbox, just want to see if somebody was telling me that my fly is open or something like that. Is okay, none of that is happening, which is kind of like neat. What I'm also going to do, what I was actually thinking about doing, like, remember we were talking about podcasts and everything, I was actually thinking about having a really super short podcast, maybe even 10 minutes or less. I don't know if they're really podcasts or maybe just videos about feng shui. And just simply kind of like how you can arrange your living space, because as most of you know, I'm right now living in freaking turmoil. Like, I'm uprooted and I'm trying to kind of like see if my roots are going to kind of like grow somewhere. So this is like what really is happening. But with feng shui, with most people who are really now not really renovating and disturbing every single segment of their home, they have much better shot at kind of like optimizing their life. So I thought to just release few series from kind of like how I see it, to kind of like just help people. I'm a little bit concerned because I know how I was when I first started to learn about feng shui. I was, I'm going to do everything. So then I did exactly where I'm right now, that everything is disturbed, and then when everything is disturbed, yeah, certain things kind of like move forward, but many other things are just kind of like harsh, and they really need to kind of find their firm footing. So that's kind of like where I have a little bit of things. So now he's licking my feet. Huh, Tiggy? What? Where's the Safi? Where's Safi? Who was the birthday boy? Where's the birthday? Oh, I have to show you costumes. I want to show you Tiggy's costumes, and I don't know if you're following his Instagram, but that's Tiger's costume. Kind of like we prepare him. Isn't this the cutest? But they found the tiger ears over here, and I think it's so freaking cute. And he was a big boy. He kind of like really didn't complain too much. So okay, let's go and have these underworld messages delivered. And let's go sign per sign. Okay, the first one is going to be, I was just about to say, should I go with Scorpio because Scorpio has a birthday? And then as I was pulling this out, I was thinking, man, Underworld, who is the ruler of Underworld? And I said, now this is going to cost me if Scorpio is not the first one. And thank God Scorpio decided, nope, I'm going forward. And also Scorpio is Tiger and Matrix is Scorpio. Matrix had a birthday as well, Tiger 26th. I guess Matrix, I celebrate on the 28th. I really think Matrix is Taurus. He has clear enjoyment of luxury. However, since I rescued him on the 28th of October, I always celebrate 2 birthdays per year for him at the stage. So let's jump into this. Scorpio, you're first. Is this going to work? Please let it work. And it's not going to work. I don't like it. Let me see if I can find something that's going to write properly. I didn't count on this, and if I don't find a proper tense, then this is not going to work at all. Okay, let's try with this one. Let's go with the orange one, because after all, it's Halloween. Okay. Here we go. This one does work. Nothing that a little bit force cannot make it happen. So except it was just a minute passed before I did this. 26 for Scorpio. So dear Scorpio, let's see what underworld messages they're coming to you. Oh my gosh, whole bunch. So you have 9 of Wands, you have the Moon, you have Ace of Pentacles. I just can't believe it. Like, this is really pulled a whole bunch of things. 8 of Wands, Knight of Cups, the Chariot, 7 of Wands, and Temperance. So there are like 2, 3, there are 3 waters over here, which tells me emotionally you're feeling very amorous, you're feeling very pulled in, you're feeling very much in sync. Almost looks to me that you're ready to kind of like, I don't know if propose, maybe a little bit too far, but you're ready to kind of like reach certain decisions. Some of you have been going through, let's say, a difficult patch in the relationship. Some of you have been kind of like wondering if you should even continue with kind of like things not as they are, but just in general, if it was enough fighting. You're just saying this is becoming too hard and I really didn't sign for it. I just like don't get the good benefits out of relationships, so what do I do with this? And it's kind of like really quite a bit on your mind. Ace of Pentacles kind of like foretells new decision and something that you really want to make as a long term. It's kind of really interesting because it's all leading to this Temperance, and Temperance is really talking about she's like amazing, kind of like a balance, and she's holding the position called tree. Trees sway, so meaning like you cannot be too rigid in your decision. Like, you need to understand this is like a give back and forth, give and take. And he also barks whenever somebody walks by on the street, kind of like that's his thing. Let's check if there is anybody in front of the house, which I'm pretty sure it isn't. So that's why his barking becomes a little bit confusing. But this is not a real aggressive bark, this is just, it is. So of course nobody is. Like, we have the nice clarity. And look at this. Tiger, who that? Oh, he was chasing cats. He was like trying to herd cats. I guess that's what it is. So Scorpio, this is exactly what it is. You're going to feel that you're going to be on the right path, and you're going to be getting signals and messages, and those messages might not be the real one. So you'll have to be able to distinguish what is right from what is wrong. Maybe you need to check on it. Maybe checking on it is going to set you off your course, because you need to read everything that is really happening. Hi Lois, hi Jenny, and hi Steady Movement. So what is really important here to know is the Chariot is telling some of you that you really want to go independent. You look at the seven showing up, and 14 is like two sevens as well, to kind of like keep this in mind. So it's almost like you are taking this month to all or nothing. Yes, you have decided you're going to give it another chance, but this is it. You're just maybe saying after your birthday, or something happens during this transition of Scorpio, or you're just simply picking up because you're good with that vibrational energy and something that really goes in that direction. So that's kind of like where you really are, but you're willing to take your anchor up and move into kind of like new direction. Seven of Wands means that somebody is maybe not giving you much of a choice. With Seven of Wands, it kind of like feels not so much being cornered. You're not cornered, because what is good about this thing is, even though there are lots of people pointing at you, meaning making you feel wrong, making you feel that you are not getting where you should be getting, and almost like making you responsible for certain things, you also need to understand that you actually have some kind of like position here. By the way, this witch over here doesn't have her broom, right? So she cannot fly off, even though we can see that kind of like falling off would not be a really good ending, but she does have a wand. So how she got there is by outsmarting everybody in this area. And this everybody, we can even see painted nails over here. So, but it's really bad feng shui when somebody's pointing something sharp at you, which feels like you're receiving that kind of like energy. And that's why they tell you don't have sharp corners around, because the energy is bouncing around the room and eventually kind of like gets kind of like to you. So this being over here means that honestly, you don't even give a shit. That you're going to get to this position and saying, you know what, I'm going to balance myself out. Everything's going to be okay, but I am not going to be blackmailed into anything. So it almost looks like that somebody's playing the wrong card with you. That even though you maybe wanted to go forward with them, you wanted to do things with them, that instead of them realizing that, hey, you know what, you're just simply who you are, you're Scorpio, you're like studying them, you're like having that x-rays going deep into their soul, they're starting to demand things, and they're just simply breaking this whole connection that you actually finally managed to sort out in your head. And that's where you are saying that's enough. It's enough. It almost looks like it's happening at a time, in a moment that is like really, really romantic. And it just like almost like feels like this romantic bubble bursts. So like he's having here all this kind of like hearts coming out of these cups. But then, if that's the case, why is somebody leaving here in the situation? So maybe I would say this would be final and not temporarily, unfortunately, because nines, you're starting with nines. You're starting with, this is it. This is just like one more last step. If it works, works. If it doesn't, doesn't. So if you guys are cross-listening and you're just like checking this for Scorpio, or you have a very strong Scorpio in you, just you need to understand that something is going to be or not to be this particular month. And this is like very, very strong message. And it's calling for balance. It's calling for you to kind of like stand back and pull yourself together, because something is going to really, really rattle you, kind of like a thing, right? Aren't you guys amazing, Barbie? Like when I was last week, Barbie said she loves these cards. I love these cards. Like it cannot be better for Halloween than this one, right? And that's why I purchased them. But I actually love them, period. But they're really good because they also have cats and kind of like tarot is all the witches, except one of the clients that they had kept calling, "Are you a witch? You're a witch." So I fired him, because I don't consider myself a witch, and clearly has all this bad connotations. So it was pretty much almost like this reading. Okay, so let me have a sip of coffee. I got a new coffee maker. Well, a second new coffee maker. I guess the first one I think they sent me was possibly and repackaged from somebody who returned it that didn't work. So now I got this one. Let me see. Microphone is making high-pitched sound. Really? No. Let me see. Is it still? I could be coming close to it. Oh, let me go here. Oh, it's not letting me do anything here. Is it still, guys, doing it? Maybe I'm too close. Oh, what's happening now? It's not letting me even go back. What happened here? Oh no. Oh no. Did I lose everybody now? Oh no. Now I lost everything. I pressed something and I don't know if you hear me, if you see me. It's saying connect software. Okay. I haven't heard anything. Yep. Okay, so you guys can hear me, but can you still hear that high-pitched sound? Is it still going on? Anybody, guys? I can put it a little bit up. This should be a really good microphone. It shouldn't be doing this. Maybe it is your computer. Hear a high-pitched sound still. Okay, if I put this closer, is it this? Can you hear it now still? Because I hear no sound whatsoever, so it could be, as you said, coming from my computer. Let me just do this, stopping and starting. Let's see, is this going to end it or started? You guys all hear it. Okay. How is it now? How is it now? Okay. That's weird. See, this is still Mercury retrograde underneath. Could it be something else? It could be the computer. Sounds good to me. Think some of you have high blood pressure. Well, maybe they're hearing it from different servers. No more buzz. Okay. I reduced something on the microphone, the gain. So can you still hear me? Is this still kind of like a good connection? No more buzz. It's quieter. Yep. That's what happens when it's quieter. It happens with this. That's what will happen. I can still hear it. Okay, how is it now? Do you hear it now? I mean, I can try to restart a computer and work with this. Okay. How is this setting? Let me just try to open this and see if this is even connecting to this microphone, or maybe connected to a different one, maybe from but I think if you're saying it's quieter, it must be my Yeti. I just want to see here into settings. I can restart a computer and start it all over again. Okay, microphone. No, microphone is where it should be. I can reduce it down. I can go up. Okay, how is it now? Can you hear me? I'm now trying to reduce audio, anything around me, to maybe hopefully stop the maybe echo that you're hearing. So much better now. You sound great to me. Okay, very faint now. you just cannot win. I cannot win. Can't hear anything but me. Okay, that's good, good, good. I have to go with this, guys, that so far, like, I mean, we are not hearing this pitch. It's better. I can hear you fine. Whew! Okay, fine, fine, fine. Like, you see, Scorpios were like, no, you didn't make us special. You didn't say it's our birthday. This is like what they did. So, okay, okay, thank God. So, let's move forward. So, the next one that's coming through is... Probably should make a point and restarting on computer before every live, because last week, 2 weeks ago, it just started itself. Now it's the microphone. So this is leading me to believe there is like some entity living here. Remember I told you about how the live started itself and how the lights are going on and off. So it's really, really weird. And my contractor was not here for a week. I had to fire the painter guy. It's just like, well, you're not paying me enough. You asked me to pay you this much. So what do you want me to do? So then in the end, I just decided to go with somebody else. So Capricorn, Chris, hey, you are next. Let's do this. Let's go with this. Oh, it started during the Scorpio reading. Weird. I wonder, like, Safi jumped here in the room when they came. If they pull any of the cords, it must be on a computer, because I couldn't hear anything happening over here. So, gone. Good, good, good. Let me see if I can pull, because the microphone is right under me. So, I don't know if I can push it away. I'll try to do that. Can you still hear me? Can you guys still hear me? And you can hear me okay, because it's much easier for me to maneuver if it's not right in my face. Okay, so guys, you have the High Priestess over here. That's the Capricorn. Then you have Nine of Swords, but you have also Knight of Cups. I wonder if anyone else could hear it. It was just me. Ace of Pentacles. It is a weird thing that sometimes you hear things that other people don't hear, and you go, okay, everybody will think I have schizophrenia, but I don't. I knew I was going to be. I'm getting better predicting. Oh, you see? But Chris, you missed the initial part, like when I said, okay, now we'll turn the table, guys. You do this. And I'm like, well, I don't know. Knitting Yogi was the only one who kind of like dared to chime in. And Kylie is missing today again. I'm sorry to hear her missing, but hopefully she's sleeping. And you have Ace of Pentacles, and then you have Nine of Cups. So again, there are nines over here, and then you have emotional involvement into something. It almost sounds to me that you need to make a decision, my dear Capricorns, and the decision is not easy, and it feels trapped, but you're looking in the wrong place. You need to start, and like, something is worrying you so much. Like, I mean, at least these are the messages, and I know I'm focusing November, but there's like something that could be brewing right away. You might be getting a reading. Hello, you know who to call, your dear Cat Tarot. But Nine of Swords is not a card that I like to see anywhere, because I call this card wash machine brain. And yeah, sure, a tarot reader can be a wash machine to simply say, no, the whites go here and the colors go there, because that's basically what is happening with Nine of Swords, that like we cannot find the beginning or the end or a solution of one way or the other. But what I really like about this Nine of Swords, there's like not that complete blockage as it is usually kind of like a thing, right? So here is like this little bird that is saying, hey, kind of look here, look, the sun is rising and it's going to be okay. You need to kind of like get out of your head, outside in the space, because swords are really known to kind of like bog you down and start doubting yourself. There's lots of words, and you have to ask yourself what kind of words you're telling yourself and why you're kind of like telling yourself. So she is checking a whole bunch of things, reading some kind of like things. And I'm wondering if this is a leftover of Mercury retrograde of some sort, or it also can be interpreted as if you are thinking a lot about someone And when you do, you're just sending this energetic waves or spiritual kind of like communication, which happens without words, and it's kind of like quiet. And instead of really getting in touch with somebody, it's kind of coming back to you. So that usually happens, for example, when we kind of like lose somebody, like a pet or a parent or somebody really really dear to us. And even though we kind of rebound, even though we get over it, from time to time, like, I mean, there are events, and maybe this is like this, I don't know, guys, you have it here. All Saints is like usually what we in Europe, well, I would not say celebrate. In Canada, there is like a national holiday, Remembrance Day, November 11th. I think it's very close to your Memorial Day in the US, where we kind of honor the people who fought for us, who died for us. It's more kind of like a military attitude. Remembrance Day, where All Saints in Europe, which was like November the 2nd, which is like Christian holiday, is like about honoring the dead. So it's in the Scorpio transition. It's kind of like not a coincidence there at all. So, but it looks like somebody is finally, when you get your head out of your behind, when you stop obsessing over something, when you stop feeling sorry for yourself. And it's nothing wrong about feeling sorry for yourself. Sometimes we need to channel out emotions because it's overwhelming and sort of things, right? But there is this Knight of Cups happening. Is that you guys, or is it somebody coming toward you? There's like this really gentle and very romantic approach, and it's wooing somebody and sitting next to a chocolate cake and next to a glass of wine. And it's like really something that you're really hopeful to really work. But there is also a caveat, because you have both Ace of Pentacles and Nine of Cups. So you want everything from this person, or somebody wants everything from you, and right away. So jumping from 1 to 9, 1 to 9, it's tough. You know, when they talk about the whirlwind romance, well, this is what I see here, right? Look, 2 9 1 9, right? So maybe it's going to repeat of something. Maybe there's like something that kind of like felt really good in the past, and maybe it's coming back, and it's again going very fast, and you're not really seeing how fast it's going until it's too late, until you realize, oh my gosh, there's something happening. You need to understand there's a one person in this equation that is completely comfortable on their own, and maybe this is the situation they prefer. So there's like nothing wrong about liking your space and everything, but you will be testing, or somebody will be testing a commitment level, or how somebody really wants to go in that direction, or if this is even doable. So that's kind of like a stuff that you will be having this particular month. I would also say that you might be dealing with water signs as well, because that's really really strongly indicated in your reading over here. And they're able to, because you're earth signs, you see, with earth signs, when you joust with air signs, it's always through kind of like always through words, and kind of like it's a fun interchange. But when you're dealing with water sign, when they want to kind of like send you on off their scent, if you kind of like want me to use that expression, they're going to use words, and they're going to try to say the right things, right? Because usually water signs don't seduce with words. Water signs seduce with how they look into your eyes, how they hold your hand, right, Safi? And your air sign usually talk. Are you going to say something to us? That's what it is. She cannot, we cannot keep our mouth shut, the air signs. So this is kind of like where it is. So all words, no action could be kind of like the name of this game, or could be somebody who it's just like simply reliving the past. Keep in mind, it does remind me a little bit of Mercury retrograde, but nonetheless, it's going to be nice, it's going to be romantic. And I would say, even now that you know that this might be just, you know, another, like the last thing, or maybe you break up with somebody, and then you sleep with this person one more time, or you meet this person, and it gives you that melancholy kind of like a feeling, but just so you know, it's final kind of a thing. Something was left unsaid. But you know, it is what it is. I would say go for it. It's kind of like one more time that you're going to have something really justifying, something that you're doing really kind of like giving you a really nice warm feeling. So this is really, really good. Oh, Chris, this is you. You're I'm just reading what he's saying. That's you. Like, look at this, Chris, and something is happening. Are you thinking about this lady these days? Because clearly she's thinking about you. And sitting down and talking about it's not going to go anywhere. But I think you need to reach closure of some sort. So that's kind of like what it is. And this buzzing was Chris energy. Now we know everything that happened. Seems to be a trend with me. Well, you know, you have to kind of like cross things off in order if you want to focus. But some people are just not like that. Some people just go and prefer experiences versus then, let's say, mounting, it's such a bad choice of word, climbing the mountain kind of a thing, right? So you kind of like to see where you are and have a campfire wherever you stand. So that's what's going to be. Maybe it's going to reach finality. It might be in person, might be simply in your own head of some sort. Sometimes, guys, and this is like where this karmic readings kick in, we meet a completely different person, completely different, that is like nothing like the person that we dealt with, and we go, thank God, this is so much better. And then very quickly after, the issues that we have with that person are almost identical to issues that we had before. And then, oh, this is what I need to resolve. I need to kind of like deal with that. So that's right. And as Barbie says, not everybody is a relationship. But yeah, this is the air sign. Like, I probably would say the same thing. But if I were a Scorpio, for example, I would say everybody is a relationship. Even my connection to this is a relationship. So keep in mind that our emotional kind of like engagement with the other people is a relationship as well. So it's kind of important to go in that direction. So let's go next, and I need to speed this up. Hello, what's going on? I'm so freaked out right now. Sally showed up. She's a Leo, and I draw Leo, and I just like, look at that. Good morning, good morning. So good. The buzzing is gone now. So I think this was Chris's energy coming through. It was like, oh, I need some answers. I need to kind of like pick up. So Pisces, let me just put a stamp over here for you, and let's see what the cards say. We are Leo, my dear Sally. Exactly at Leo. Leo. Let's see what are the messages. But these are underworld messages. So you can see what the difference is when you summon those messages. So this is like kind of down and dirty. It's really telling you about, hey, you know, these are the things that we really need to kind of like be better, excel better. So we have a 9 of Cups over here. And you have a 10 of Cups. There's like something family, and then there's the Hangman. One more or two more in this case. 4 of Wands and 7 of Wands. So Leos are going to have very fruitful kind of times ahead. So there is a debate in Leo's head if they kind of like cannot decide if they want to do things on their own or within the family, because 10 of Cups is clearly gathering of family. So it could be the people you work with that you consider family, but it will be really close associates, or it could be simply the your real family that is really happening here, which I think is the case. So family as kind of like supportive it can be also very disintegrating. This is not the case this time in your case, even though Leo usually have love-hate relationship with their family. But we do have the Hangman. So there is going to be something happening that because of your family, you're finding it difficulty to move forward, right? So maybe you're presenting one phase before your family where there is another phase that is really happening, that's really doing. The Hangman is a sacrifice. The Hangman is being willingness to make a sacrifice, or there's a conversation taking place and somebody's asking you to make a sacrifice, or sometimes the sacrifice happens without even being asked for, just simply happening, right? So Four of Wands is saying that something is heading to the next level, but simply you being passive in the situation, right? You're being passive and you're being defensive. And sacrifice sometimes means also losing everything and giving everything up. But he, as you can see, he kind of like has this almost relaxed face. Nothing is happening. There's like not even a leverage if you really think about it. Like this is really flimsy, kind of like constructed broom. So very, very quickly he kind of like can land down and he's not really trapped in the situation, right? And I don't know if you can see it, he even has the key in his own hands, meaning like it's simply kind of like trying to explore how and why we feel trapped in a situation. So it could be family values of a sort. It could be religion, of course. It's a cups, deals with religion. It could be kind of like Lancaster always pays his debts kind of a thing, right? It could be a whole bunch of things that are really happening that are certain expectations that you're kind of like being saddled with. That, I don't know, if you're unmarried, for example, say maybe your family just definitely wants you to get married and making a hard situation even harder or more difficult because maybe you feel like, oh my gosh, you know, like what do you think that I wouldn't want it to happen. If you're already married, right, maybe you find that the rest of your family members are not supportive of you, and maybe the sacrifice that you're making is saying you're going to let it go. You know, I'm not going to insist that you're kind of like on my side. And that's why I see here that defensiveness kind of a thing. What is really good to know about this card, even though you're going to find yourself defensive, you're going to realize that somebody wants a piece of you. And the good news about this is to understand, you know what, they wouldn't be wanting this if you don't have something they don't have. So it's going to be sort of like a victory or sort of understanding that you're in a good position. So the whole kind of like month is going to feel stabilizing, that you need to kind of like find a sort of a process how you can get somewhere. Part of that process is going to be just doing nothing and simply observing other people, or even going with the flow, what they want, and just simply kind of trying to find your own solution. But if they try to mistake you for a pushover, they're going to find out that you have really, really big teeth, and you're not going to let them. It's not going to happen. So you're going to be the one who is going to be celebratory in the very end, from the very beginning to the very end. So somebody wants to take your happiness away from you, and they are not going to be successful at all. So that is very, very important. So we had Scorpio, we had Capricorn, Madame Barbie, and now we're on Leo. And the next one, we are Chris goes, I had enough lessons, Barb. Well, they never stop, Chris, right? Isn't that the way it is? It's just like, it's not like school that eventually, no, it's done. Like life just keeps going and going and going. And even on the kind of like dying bed of people, they still tell you, I wish I did this. It's just like, oh my gosh, does it ever kind of like stop, right? Then we have Virgo. Okay, we have Virgo, Matrix, Tiger, Shafi. He's just babysitting them. This is just amazing. So 58, 58. What's up, Shafi girl? You want to come and visit and talk to us? Okay, messages for Virgo. You're welcome, Sally. Virgo. Where'd you jump? Come on, hop, hop. Hoppy, hoppy. I can be loud. That's okay. Like you're Leo, you're supposed to roar. We have a few cards that jumped out. We have 8 of Pentacles, which to me is always Virgo. Oh, we have 8 of Wands. You guys going to be all business. We have 7 of Swords, and then we have Ace of Cups over here. So 8 of Pentacles here generally is like about putting the final touches to something. So she is creating some kind of like magic potion over here, measuring kind of like how much needs to happen in all of that. But to me, 8 of Pentacles is always about the details, and that's why always whenever I see this card, I know it's Pentacles and generally it's the Earth, but this is more to me Earth than just Pentacles. This is like to me really the main of Virgo. It almost looks like she's putting a ketchup in it for some reason, and so ketchup is just invention and kind of like fooling our brain that we actually eating something substantial. So which should be really salsa, but it's kind of like a chemistry behind that. I think it was wasn't invented for Vietnam or something like that. I don't know why is this coming to my mind right now. So it's really interesting. Videos of chanting Virgo. What is it, guys, today? Like, look at this. Like, underworld, we have no problems connecting and summoning. This is just amazing. So you also have 2 8s, and 8s also belong to Virgo. 8 is sort of like, I don't want to say secretary in a negative point, but secretaries are usually the ones who are pulling the strings, right? Like they kind of like put everything out and create these things like in the background so their bosses can look good, so the bosses come and finalize it in the phase number 9, and then everybody moves forward in the phase number 10, right? So this is kind of like, look at this, the 8 of Wands. It's kind of like this magical kind of like thinking. There's like a swirl of energy. 8 of Wands can also kind of like be expression of something happening your way. Just very much the question that I posed in the beginning, you almost like have the similar combination. Look, you have this 8 of Wands, but it's followed with 7 of Swords, but it's then followed with Ace of Cups, meaning you do end up in a good space, right? But something is going to be very disappointing over here, right? It's almost like you're putting all your heart and want into something where somebody just grabs things away from you, or maybe you're dealing with something that it was a huge investment for you, and you're thinking like, I dedicated so much to kind of get there, and then somebody just comes and takes it, and they don't even deserve it, and they don't even are not worthy of it. You know, like usually it happens when, let's say, the owner's son gets a job that you have been, you know, sweating over for 10 years, and when it's your time, they're just given that promotion and not you. That kind of like would be the situation over here. But the fact that you have this Ace of Cups, that you have this cauldron that you have been cooking over here, right? It's now basically something that is drinkable, something that is made, something that you really enjoy. It's almost like a new beginning where you're really clear and you're emotionally very stable and hopeful. But I want to check the 7 of Swords, because 7 of Swords is Moon in Aquarius, right? So it was something maybe that goes back to August. You have to think about it. We had 2 moons in Aquarius. One was like, I think, beginning or at the end of July, and one was like sort of like toward the end of Leo's transition. So there's like 3 of Pentacles. It was about some skill. It was about some expertise, right? It's about teaching kittens how to hunt. So what was happening back then is going to be very much coming to the surface in the upcoming. So you have the moon reversed over here. And also you have 6 of Pentacles. It almost like shows like the kitty cat is being exposed because she's white in the dark. So instead of like having the cover of the night, it doesn't. So something is, you're going to feel really exposed. And there is also 6 of Pentacles over here, which talks about some kind of generosity of some sort. Maybe you're accomplishing something, but you feel like almost like it's charity given to you versus that you really earned it. And it's kind of a comfortable feeling where somebody wants you to feel this way and you want nothing to do with that, and that is really bothering you. So that can be some of the kind of like things that can kind of really play out in the upcoming time. But this is really important for you to remember. It's about the skill. you have the skill for something. You are well prepared. You are communicating it very well. But there's like something happening behind the scenes that you're not privy to, and that is going to set you off your goal. So that is really, really important to know. Yeah, Capricorn was second one. Did you not know that we were talking to Chris about this? It was so weird because then we had the buzzing, and Chris had this thing with his Scorpio, which was femme fatale. And then, I mean, he never told us what happened, and now he's telling us today, well, it was really never finished. It was so really weird, right? That we got these messages about this. Okay, so who is next? Who is next? Is next, and it is Libra. I'm so freaked out because I almost have a feeling that Barbie was now saying Libra, Libra, Libra. I don't know why, but almost like I heard, almost like a whisper of some sort. It's really bizarre. So it's 105. I really have to finish my shamanic studies because I remember when I was doing those daily meditations, going in the underworld, and this is kind of like why I stopped, because that was really freaking me out. This was like so intense, and I couldn't go back on the track. I was like really kind of like put aside with kind of like really exploring all of that kind of like worlds and the new visions and everything. So let's go, Libra. Barb, I thought it was a long Scorpio reading. It's going in and out. Okay, so well, kind of like it was connecting. Okay. Hello, Moha. Muha. Is it Muha or Moha? So Libra, you have 8 of Wands. You have 2 of Pentacles. Look at how powerful is 2 of Pentacles in this particular deck. Then you have 5 of Swords. Look at her. She's like, oh my god, this is not going to end well. I guess somebody got hurt. Well, 5 of Swords is usually the place where somebody gets hurt. But it's kind of weird. I'm going to tell you really quickly. This is like so clear, like as a day. And you can see now how when the cards are positioned in front of you, how it gets difficult. You need to figure out what it is this all about, how it's going to affect you. And also need to take into account that you're not God, right? That there's like always human factor, and there is always, of course, the factor that you might be wrong. So, but here, I don't think there's like even a possibility of me being wrong. 8 of Wands talks about excitement and generating energy and enthusiasm and about messages and even love messages of some sort. But almost like somebody gets you, and then right the next day, it's like back to where we are. Maybe somebody's juggling, because look at it, there's like this balance over here. It's a balance in grounding energy, but kitty cat is changing this balance, and you know that something can happen at any given moment to kind of like take these things apart of some sort, right? There's like this perpetual motion. So usually this card comes when there is like a debate about the firmness of a proposition or of a relationship. Maybe somebody has somebody else on the side. Maybe you do. Maybe there are like 2 competing matters, like how if I get this job, I won't have time for a relationship. Kind of like these are kind of like the things that I see here. But one thing is going to lead to another, right? So this 2 of Pentacles is definitely into 5 of Swords. And 5 of Swords is like somebody feeling they took advantage of you. Somebody feeling that they had a recipe, they know you. And this is like where they go really wrong, because you're Libra. And this is like where Libra has this like one of these biggest camouflages in Zodiac. Because they look very amiable. They look very giving. Just think about John Lennon, for example, you know, preaching for the world, but holy moly, if you step on their tail, you're going to see just the mask goes off, and they are going to go where they want to go. They're going to shred you in tiny little pieces with all freaking air signs, but Libra is one of those. That's why they hold the justice, and that's why they represent the justice, because if they feel they're wronged, you have to understand this whole purpose of being, of choosing the sign, is to right the wrong. And then they shred you in pieces. That's because they felt it was complete imbalance, and the shredding is going to create balance. So if you guys are trying to play with them or play with their emotions, you're going to be eviscerated. Like, this is clearly where it's going to go. It's kind of like grabbing and grasping, going where you want to go, doing what you want to do. Knight of Swords has this ridiculous focus, maybe doesn't know exactly how things end, but it's really not even important, because if you're traveling somewhere long term, you're just saying, okay, right now I need to quickly go from here to here, from point A to point B. You're going to figure out at point B how to move forward. So that is really, really important. So Barbie says, when I was leaving for work, I hear children laughing. There are none around. Oh my God. It's so weird. Actually, I was like walking like through the store, and I was like hearing conversation, and I heard my own voice, and I was like so freaked out. I looked everywhere and see people, and I finally realized my phone that was in the pocket started to play one of my recordings, and it was just really bizarre, because the kind of like the sound was coming in and out, but like I couldn't really figure out what was this all about, in addition to being kind of like really freaked out. So Knitting Yogi says, I'm beginning to feel like a glorified secretary in my internship. Ooh, okay. So that kind of like was certain things over there happening. So that was really important. Barb, I was dozing off a couple of nights ago and suddenly heard someone call name as clear as a bell. Walked me right up. Whoa. So this is like, I mean, close contacts, Chris, for sure. I mean, that really somebody comes. I lived in a flat where I used to see this guy come home from work every day and call my name. See, guys, this is really amazing, because we get freaked out in these moments instead of like communicating, but it's just like so out of this world, right? I had this happen to me, like, I mean, I heard his steps and communicating to me, and I know it was my grandfather, because I lived in his, I inherited that house back in Croatia. And it was really strange how, instead of me using and seizing the opportunity to communicate, I was like more trying to figure out how to make this stop. So since this is there, since this is around you, just like what I have the opportunity here, and I feel this is very, ghosts are never really good, so just keep this in mind. Ghosts are people who are stuck, and they're stuck because they love too much. They just couldn't leave, and they just had something that was unfinished, and they want to have it finished. So they're like trying to summon us to help them. But this is wrong, because we really can't really help them, right? I really liked, it was this movie with Reese Witherspoon, and I cannot really tell you what it was, but she just definitely was appearance, and I'm just wondering who was the guy. Was it Paul Rudd or somebody like with these romantic movies? Even though it was kind of like one of those therapy movies, it kind of like had this theme what you're talking about, and I definitely, both of you guys should probably take a look at it. I'm gonna just even Google it. I might jog my memory. What was I see so many of these Shabby movies. See if I'm going to even recognize. Hard to see. It's not Legally Blonde. It was not the Election. I loved the Election. How about what is Home Again? That's movies. She's a doctor in this movie. So let's see. Just Like Heaven. That's the movie. And I definitely would. Who is the guy? Oh, it's Mark Ruffalo. Yeah, I really like him as well. I don't know why did I think this guy. So, okay, let's move on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have one more before Barbies calling for doors. We have Gemini. Can I leave it here, madam? What do you say? You're not happy about that, huh? You will just walk away with this? Really? That's what you would do? That's what you would do, madam? Is it getting cold, guys, where you are? We are getting a taste of fall. I got my mini splits installed, so nice and warm in here. So it kind of, we are getting into really the Halloween. Let's do this. So we have King of Pentacles and King of Cups. This is all good. And then we have Justice. Is that a Gemini here? Are you guys dealing with some kind of legal issues, or you're dealing with this could be choice of two people who are very different and very different for you, and I don't know if truly either of them is a really good fit. This one also has to come out. Seven of Pentacles. But this can also mean, because this one is about bounty, this is how I know Matrix is Taurus, because man, like, I mean, if I buy something that is like pashmina or something really soft, and now I have these I got it Costco down what do you call it, bed cover, right, duvet, and he just couldn't wait. He's just like sleeping in there. It just kind of like reminds me on Hans Christian Andersen, the story about the princess on what do you call it, on a bead of peas, kind of a thing. He just loves his comfort, and this to me is kind of the card about ultimate comfort. He's really tied to the ground. There's like something that is really hard for you to make move on, but there's also something connecting to money. This is a lots of money, and money buys stuff, right? And it's almost like, but there's like a bounty happening. This is all really, really positive, right? Justice is finally kind of like waging something in your favor. There are certain things that are happening over here, and I don't know if you can even see it. There's even a siren coming through. So if you guys had some personal issues in regards to your close ones, maybe this is a romantic partner, but a romantic partner wants to take certain things to the next level of a sort. This could mean moving in. This could mean really feeling fulfilled emotionally, but it could mean to some of you through, let's say, legal action. Maybe you're winning the case, you're getting the news about it, the justice is on your side, and it's a time for kind of like reassessment. So you're on the next level, and now you're thinking how this next level is going to kind of like react and kind of like deal with this. So that is what is really really important to kind of like really happen. So I want to get a few things to clarify, because it also could mean that there is like some kind of competition between the two, and maybe you are simply reassessing who, I don't know, who can benefit you more. The kind of like will be a little bit cold-hearted. But like, if that's the case, if this is a choice between two people, then there is one who may have been self-employed, who is working really hard, but who also wants to enjoy, who likes real estate, who likes cake, who likes food, who likes wine, who likes, you know, like, I mean, showing things for what things have been done. The other one is equally rich, but you're not going to see this other person adorned with anything that represents money. This person considers his kind heart being his or hers biggest feature, right? And the kindness is like what really matters, and sometimes it kind of like brings this unexpected. So this guy is a little bit more quiet, while this guy is a little bit more flashy. So flashy always becomes more visible, but when I said that I don't know if either of them is really good fit for you, is because you generally do not fit in any of these two categories, right? You might enjoy the suppers and everything because to you it's just experience, right? But to them it's a way of life. You might think this person is too quiet for you, and that you might think that you don't need emotional input that much, or you might even feel that they're emotionally empty just because they are not expressing it in words, right? Because for you, your best fits, the King of Wands and King of Swords, did not really show up, but the Justice did. And the Justice is really talking about there's something really happening, and you can see her holding this big book that says law, and see the two kittens playing it out, but she is speaking through. So it's going to be something that I think you can influence. You are not kind of like going into that completely blindly. And I'm not going to take 25 cards. I just want a 1-1 here. Hello, Creative Guru. How are you doing? Late to the show, and we have the 8 of Cups. So something that walked away, something that tried to slip through your fingers, it's being curled back, and something is, you know, 8 of Cups with a lovely, basically, way to show the card. So he is here. I don't know if you can see it with kittens. So mommy cat is leaving. She's not leaving permanently. She's going to come back. So she is feeling comfort with everything that she has completely. And this card is like a full hit on kind of like making this archetype. And he is showing his with the house, and there's a protection happening. She's going because she feels that she wants to nourish them, right? And nourish them in the way that she wants to. But she does come back. In this case, she's coming back. That nourishment, maybe, I don't know. Did you actually have a phase, my dear Gemini, where you needed to, I don't know, take some time for yourself, kind of like deal with issues on your own? Maybe you felt that you couldn't kind of like go forward with certain ways. Maybe you still feel the same way. So there's like maybe coming back. Two of Swords is again somebody who's usually blindfolded, but look at this two Siamese Put-you-get over here. And they really have usually quite a bit of things to say whenever they're doing about something. So it's going to be talking about your experiences, but it's going to be a big indecision. So this is now what is the name of the game for you this month. You'll be dealing with, I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. And I don't know what to do is when your brain starts collapsing, where you cannot take this decisive action to kind of like move forward. So what you can do in the meantime, this is really talking about your investments. Maybe you're going to meet with your investor banker, or you're going to do some studies about how to invest the things and how to move forward, how to remove things that they're not yielding any profits. But this is not only talking about money. It can talk about what in your life you want to keep, what is really important, because it's not only the money that propels us forward. So it's sometimes like we ask ourselves what we want to have, but the true question should be, who do we want to have with us to be there, right? You know how they ask you in the interview, well, where do you see yourself in 5 years? The most ridiculous question, right? Because yeah, sure, you can say, I see myself sitting in a green chair with, you know, legs made like to look like, you know, a lion's kind of like a lion's foot. But you can say in 5 years, I'm going to be in a company that's going to be nourishing, it's going to be productive, which I think is the most powerful question to really, really do that. So that's really important, right? So that's where we go. Hello, Ekat. Hello, Kylie. Are you guys here the first time? Welcome, guys. Tell us about your sign and how you enjoy the channel, and we go from there. So we are going to actually use this deck for the doors. So now it is your time to ask your question, and I'm going to put 3 groups of cards down: left door, center door, right door, or door number 1, door number 2, number 3, and we're going to see what's going to happen with this. Let's do this. Yes, you can ask a question, but do it within you. Can you be added? What do you mean? You subscribe? Like, I mean, you're like right here in the live, so just ask a question right now. And I don't know what to do with this. Like, this is like now telling us all, I think, some kind of, I'm going to leave this here. Oh, there's another one. Seven of Cups reversed, Judgment reversed, and the Sun reversed. We need to kind of like deal with certain things from the past. Seven of Cups is kind of like focus on one thing. Don't ask for too much, because too much is not going to happen. And it's not going to happen because it cannot happen karmically. It is really time to really pick one thing that you really want and go with that. And that's going to be important. Okay, so this is door number 1 that we have on the table. It's going to be door number 2. It's going to be door number 3. Okay, so who picked number 1? Who picked number 2? Who picked number 3? Colleen, should I continue with my healing code group on Facebook that I just started? So you don't need to say the question publicly, but you know, if you want, you can. Because if you do say, then I can actually go and clarify for it. But which group did you pick, Colleen? Like this one, or this one? So 1, 2, or 3. So let's see, guys, what we go. I'm going to have a sip of coffee right here. Gosh, this makes good coffee. So the door number 1, I did get the Hierophant flick. Then we have 3 of Cups, and we have a Queen of Wands. Currently, are you by any chance a fire sign, or you have a very strong fire, or you might be even a Scorpio or Taurus? That's kind of like what I see over here if you pick this one. Okay, but you pick number 3 and number 2. So whoever picked number 1, guys, here, it's kind of dealing with challenging authority of some sort, right? You are introducing your own ideas. You are maybe even going against the advice of the friends of a sort. And this can also talk about some kind of a breakup or clean slate or starting all over. And it's going to be very, very impactful over here, because it's something that you have been thinking quite a bit about, but it's almost like you're pushed in this decision to make this kind of decision. See, I do feel this is about you, Kylan. This was kind of talking about it because this is about a group of people. This is about the healing. Hierophant would be, you have to do what I say, but when it reverses, it's about healing. It's about going all directions. So what I would say, you need to establish there who is the boss. Should you continue? It's either way. Queen of Wands is generally independent, even though she has oak. Oak means sometimes you go for a long run, right? Sometimes you just cannot give up if going gets tough. Sometimes you have to go through hard periods, and that hard period can be a day, month, year, or even 5 years. So it's really, you need to find it in your own heart how much you want it, how much you want it. So you're doing that for you, not for XYZ kind of a thing, right? Door number 2, who said? Louis. He said number 2, we have a Queen of Swords. Are you dealing with a person who you need to kind of like get around, or you need to get majorly pissed off and scream and clean the air of some sort? Queen of Swords could be somebody who is even very cold. Queen of Swords, they can be like, bosses. They can be human resources if you kind of like wish. Queen of Swords could be somebody who is an air sign. She's actually really okay when she's upright, but when she's reversed, especially she's dealing with 8 of Swords, it feels like there's some kind of like a blockage in communication, and they can become very explosive. So when they become explosive, lots of bad things come through. Lots of bad blood can kind of be a part of the problem. So it's not the best kind of like path forward at this stage with this question. So, and the door number 3 is, we have a Page of Pentacles. In Page of Pentacles, it talks about look at the kitty cat, is like a little afraid of the mice over here. So it's kind of like that learning curve to understand who is there and who is there kind of a thing. Page of Pentacles is also about curiosity, about the differences, and about what can I assess in the situation? How do I go? But it's still kind of like showing that situation is not brewed to the level of full success. This is like a partial success. Queen of Swords could be, I would say no, would be closer the answer, because Queen of Swords kind of removes you from what you want, because it is so, it's like a storm enters the freaking house, so you just stop cooking the lunch because you're saving your freaking head in the situation, because Queen of Swords reversed is really, really bad news. So it's not something that can happen, but it has to. You're taken off your path for sure over there. I know this is like a Safi card for sure. And the older she gets, the darker she gets. Did you know the Siamese cats, they're really black cats, right? And so that blackness is coming back depending on the heat and depending on their age. So that's kind of like what happens. And of course, I didn't put here, pick a card thing, but I'm going to guess it approximately here. So let's go. Let's continue. Second part, guys. Second part. It's so beautiful and sunny outside. I don't know what temperature is really here. What temperature do we have here? Nope. Let's go here. It's 12 degrees with a few clouds. Is it going to get warmer? Not much warmer, but it's going to rain later, so I can as well enjoy a day after the day starts. Okay, so the next one is this one. I didn't realize it's about Siamese cats. Yeah, they are born white because of the gene, and the first they start darkening with ears, and the ears and the faces, the places that are the coldest on their body, the tail, get this dark color, right? And if you really shove heat on them, it's going to go down in color, right? But if they're normal temperatures, such as a northern hemisphere, then they're going to get darker and darker and darker, right? So she was like completely white as a kitten, and now as she comes, you can see she's like a color of coffee with milk already, with face getting grayer and grayer and grayer. So it's kind of like interesting. And talking about Safi, here is Aquarius going next. It's so weird. Talk about something and this sign comes right through. So Aqua ladies and Aqua boys, I wonder if Safi is going to show up for this. All right, guys, please like and share, and don't forget to come back to live, because then all the signs are actually getting messages for you. So Aquarians, we have somebody had to get in the tower. We didn't see tower in a long time, but look at this tower. She's almost happy. It almost like looks like, look at the kitty cat is hiding. It was the big crack, but she said, I just didn't want it anymore. Okay, it's almost like there's like, some kind of reinvention that is really happening over here. Oh my gosh, knitting yogi, she was asking for Aqua next. It's, the tower, the devil. Okay, what's happening? And the 10 of Wands. This is like almost like a soap opera of some sort. So the tower, clearly, guys, and look at her. She caused it. She waved his wand and she said, psh, it's not going to happen. The tower is literally when we want to go against the destiny. And of course, who the heck is going to dare but Aquarius? And it's daring pretty much everybody. And that's why this is saying it's really, really hard. Are you sure you want to challenge everybody? So Aquarians are putting too much on their plate. And this is Jason Momoa kind of like teasing you with money. Just walk away from her. I'll give you the money, right? And she's like all sad, even though she's kind of being tempted, but she didn't succumb to it. But he might, right? So there is like going to be polarization of some sort. Tower means, it's like, pardon my language, it's oh fuck feeling. Oh shit, like why is this happening? When you really feel things are exploding in your face, everything is happening. So I'm Aquarius. I'm just trying to think what can happen in my life. I don't know. Contractor gives up on me now when the house is like in a disarray and they don't show up. I mean, it's bloody hell dealing with contractors as it is. But whatever is your situation, this could talk about it. You need to start from the beginning. You need to start from the scratch. We need to start moving forward, right? The devil challenges. The devil wants us to make shortcuts. The devil wants us to really go in the direction where somebody else wants us to, instead of like doing what we really want to do, right? So the devil can also means dealing with a Capricorn of some sort. So this is Mars principle of some sort. So this can actually really talk about the anger or accepting money instead of doing the right thing, right? Or because remember, after the tower, the star comes out. But instead of the star, you're going from 16, you're going back to 15. It's almost like the Aquarians are not going to trust themselves this much. But yet, they are really learning an important lesson, and that's why Ten of Wands shows up. Ten of Wands is about, you know, it gets the hardest, it gets the darkest before the dawn, and you need to walk this path. While walking, you're thinking, oh my gosh, I'm lost and I don't feel like it. I don't want to walk this path. I just want to give up. I just want to sleep. I just want to drink water. You're just like not feeling. It's really, really hard, and the hard gets harder. And like, you know, like you get wet shoes and you get wet socks and it's starting to rain. It's just like literally everything is supporting your thoughts that you shouldn't be moving forward. Yet, if you continue moving forward, you're succeeding and you don't know it at that stage yet. So this is going to be playing the odds in this particular time frame, and it's going to be really interesting. So since there are two major arcanas, it's not going to be much you can do to change it. Oh, the devil is being clarified with the devil. What are the freaking chances? Now look at this fat kitty. It's just like eating everybody's food. Be careful. Somebody's presenting themselves as a benefactor, but they are not. Let's see the tower over here. Nine of Wands. Nine of Wands is very similar to Tower. Nine of Wands is like when things are really not working out, but you still have to keep trying. You have to, and you feel like, oh my gosh, why I keep doing the same thing over and over and over again. Now let's see this Ten of Wands over here is King of Pentacles. You see the success is almost guaranteed. It could be a man, or it could be somebody who is on top. He's definitely going to the castle. It's kind of hard to get there. Look at that steep, very, very steep kind of like way of going at it. This is not the best way to carry all of it, but if nothing else, at least it's balanced. And it's somebody who is determined. So maybe this determination has to be shown. And with this determination, you might win. But be very, very careful not to succumb to temptations, and that is the key over here. Welcome, Colleen. I really hope this helps. Decision is ultimately on you. Creative girl. We finally got someone who's actually fixing a shower after it being broken since August. It was such a relief to have a trade person just act on it and get started. I know, like dealing with tradespeople, it's just so different for me. I'm used to when I say my word, I'll do it and I finish it. It's, I guess, to them a job, and they can wreck your place and never come back. And right now I'm just in a frame of mind that I really just go toward the goal I want. Like with this guy, when he got hired, he said he has a part-time job. He was open about it, but this is by design, because he wants to have only part-time, because it gives him ability to actually have his own business. By the 15 days in this job, he told me he got a full-time job. I said, well, I thought you don't want it. Well, it was the opportunity I couldn't pass. And then he also said he likes to be mobile and has jobs that he's not basically chained to the desk. Well, this job, he's chained to the desk. Now he cannot come during the week. And you need to take all in account that he's going to be dead tired on weekends. So right now, according to the cards, might start from the scratch all over again, which would cost me again more money and patience. I have already switched to painter because that guy was pulling my leg and I had enough of that. So this next guy, he like they put an ad, but when you answer the ad, then oh yeah, I'm the best. I'll show you my portfolio. I'll show you this. Okay, so do you want to come and see what you need to paint? Yeah, I'll come today between 5 and 6. Then you make a point not to walk tiger, but to be there. And then 5 to 6, oh, I just cannot come today, but how about, I come tomorrow and I can paint. No, I can't do it tomorrow. Oh, okay. So now all of a sudden he doesn't have to see the place. He's telling me how much he makes per hour before he didn't want to take the hourly wage. It is just a freaking nightmare. It's just like, okay, what I want, so I did put my foot down, is that you have to show up on Sunday, and on Sunday at 10. If you're not here at 10, I'm moving forward. And that's exactly how it's going to be with everybody. So that's the way it is. And right now, like, my downstairs bathroom is cold because he didn't put a shower curtain, because he wants the access to the plumbing. So it's very uncomfortable doing it, and plus it's very slippery, and I'm not feeling completely comfortable, especially now we have this plantar fasciitis, right? And he just left like that. So I'm pretty much showering out in the open with all this wind that doesn't properly warm it up because he didn't put a heater in there. The upstairs bathroom is nothing. I mean, he did a big job, but it's still quite a bit of time before the tiles are put. So I don't know if he's going to show up. He says he shows up, but then he doesn't show up. It's basically my experience with Gemini. Is like really not sure what's going to happen next. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Sixth one. I don't know why this says they should be registered, and in the registration they should have not only Google feedbacks, but how many times it didn't show up, how many lawsuits, and I don't even think that would help, because the reason why they are there is probably reason, right? Aries is next. You just have to have, I guess, your goal. You have to have your focus where you are heading, because I'm just not even engaging with their crap anymore. It's just like, I don't care what they do in their life, their reasoning. This is when I have it done, and I have to be able to push them to get there. So we will see how successful I will be. If not with this guy, then it's going to be with somebody else. All right, Aries, you guys are next. Well, this guy that I have currently, Conrad, he's good, but he's unreliable, and he shows up when he wants to show up. He's overly extended, and now I'm afraid that how much he put on his plate, he's not going to be able to finish it. It's not much left, but it's everything is like, right, needs this assembly, right? That's the problem. So 4 of Pentacles, you're being a little bit protective or overly protective, and then you have a Page of Pentacles, and then you have like 2 of Wands, and you have a Knight of Pentacles. So everything for you is going to be the issue of home, issue of what needs to be done. There are like some kind of like tasks that you are attending. Maybe you are kind of like debating what kind of solution you want to apply to it, and in which kind of direction you really want to go. The 4 of Pentacles is really interesting card because he feels he's locked up, because he kind of like is over here. But if you look, he's like locked up from inside, or he locked himself in, rather to say there is a way to get to him through an open window. But the truth is, true question here is like, why are you in the situation? Do you really think by closing yourself in your safe is going to make you protected of something? Where this very next stage here in Page of Pentacles is talking about the true solution is like not, it almost looks to me that maybe there's like some kind of money that is leaking, and you want to prevent that leak, right? And you're preventing this leak by saying no spending, that's it, nothing, just necessity kind of things, right? But Page of Pentacles is saying, well, you need to kind of like go through this education stage. You need to explore all the possibilities. You need to kind of look in your roadmap, because there is a 1 tower here, there's 1 tower here, and there's still a road that is unknown. And as I don't know if you can see it, he's flipping a coin. So kind of like everything can kind of happen. And here he's also kind of like twirling his wand. Over here he has like this two whatever this is, fire kind of like things doing it, and looking in a distance kind of a thing. But it's not only that he's looking at his bowl, he's actually applying magic. And what does that mean, applying magic? I mean, it's almost like similar here if you really look at it, because he's moving from this page to night, right? Now the page kind of like has the broom. He still doesn't know how to activate it if you really wish. But there's this kitty here, there's like a stone here. He figure out the source of his power. He figure out how to take this in the next direction. So it almost looks to me that you have a conceptual month, that you are dealing with lots of maybe big ideas, that you do know that you need to throw money at things, but you're not willing to do that. Maybe, as we were talking about contractors, like this is money really leaking through your fingers. You're just really never done. It's hair pulling kind of like experience. And if you're in a relationship, it can really affect relationship because somebody really disturbs you to the core. It's not happening how you're doing, and it probably has nothing to do with how much you're paying them. It has to do that kind of like attracts certain level of people who are, let's not even go into that, right? They can be the nicest people, but simply they're not dedicated to you. They're only dedicated to themselves. It's very ground kind of like level spiritually, if you really think about it. But you guys are getting Knight of Pentacles coming through. And Knight of Pentacles to me is the ultimate friend. To me, it could be even Aquarius. I don't know if you can see it. He also has his tools. He does have a wand, but he has a hammer and probably a whole bunch of other stuff over here as well. So there's like things that are really happening over here in the situation. So this is something is being taken to the next level. You might need help from the people around you, and that strategy, if you take that one and that direction, is going to work very, very well. So that's really, really important to kind of do that. So we'll see. I know it is a mess. You should see my freaking bathrooms. And not only that, but like then I buy the stuff for this construction. So I bought the shower, I bought the doors and the stuff. And this, of course, he needs to have a space, and the bathrooms are going to be there. So this is everywhere. His tools are everywhere. I cannot organize anything because I'm waiting for all that to be finished to put it in the bathroom. So it's just like, it just doesn't feel right. It just doesn't feel like home. And that's kind of like what really, really irritates me to basically no extent. It may be determination to get past the Gemini. Yes, absolutely. So the stage is like, how do I get this guy? Because I paid him, I overpaid him. I just made a freaking second time in a row the same error. And I wanted to show him, you know, how serious I am. And then the moment when he got 85% of the pay and he still has the 50% of the work to do, then he starts showing up twice a week. It's just like, with these people, you need to know the money is the motivator, and you pay when they're done, not before. And I don't give a shit. From this point on, that's exactly how it'll be happening. Even the painter, well, I need some money up front. Why do you need money up front? You didn't even start painting. If I'm paying you per hour, you're getting nothing. Okay, well then I cannot do it. Okay, goodbye, right? So it's just like, it's amazing how people, the first painter I had, he was really good. He knew how to do the lines. It was amazing. But what really bothered me about him is that he is Sagittarius, and he would come when these people in the first shift stopped. So I was already secretary, assistant, whatever you want to do, cook for all of these people, trying to be there so they can just keep doing their stuff and not to kind of defocus from it. And then they will go home to relax, and I had the second shift with the painter who, instead of freaking painting, wanted to talk about how great he is, right? Because it was the same story over and over and over again. everything would be done, right? And then a few times I had to apologize, I have to kind of attend to something, and these were the situations when he did something. But even at that, like he would paint the ledge, and then you would see under it was not painted. It just like was so freaking sloppy. And then he couldn't come on, he couldn't come back, and he's busy, and then it was one coat, not two coats everywhere. And it's very expensive paint that I'm buying, Sherwin-Williams. I didn't cheapen on paint because that has to stay on the walls for a long period of time. It has to be washed, right? So I'm painting doors black, and for that you really kind of like need to have a proper paint to kind of like soak in. But they just painted freaking one side of the door, and they put the doors freaking back. It just, it's, why can't you take maybe just one door but finish one door, then wreck everything and never come back and then try to blackmail people? It explains why this guy who was telling me how great he is not realizing that maybe he's great in painting and he's never going to be success in life ever. It's just freaking amazing that even they cannot recognize the advice that is coming. I didn't really give him advice, but I said, we need to have your company, and this means you need to finish the job on time. It was all hint. Yeah, it just flew by him. That's kind of how it was. Chris says, do you have next door up there? Look for referrals from others online. Are you kidding me? Like, we are going in a housing boom. I don't know how much you guys read about Canada. Canada is like one of those bubbles in the world. You cannot find anything on the shelves anymore. You cannot find contractors anymore. It is just ridiculous. In this province where I am right now, they don't even have the need. Contractor doesn't have to be registered. Like in Ontario, they have to be registered. Oh boy, if they would not do things like according to the code, they can be even criminally prosecuted. Here, nothing. It's really, really hard. They are basically running the show. They're telling you what the price is. So you really have to put up with lots of crap. That's for sure. And trust me, I spend so many hours and so much time basically vetting these people. And it's just like they're not even trying to keep appearances for 2 or 3 times. It's just like from the very nice, it goes to very bad. It's just literally, I'm so tired of feeding those egos of these people who are just not able to finish the job. That I'm telling myself, just close to the finish, just don't do it. And now I'm stuck with a guy that I overpaid, and he can walk away anytime. And then I'm really majorly screwed if he does, because then I'm going to almost start with the same amount of money that I pay him to finish the job all over again. And he's not the first one, he's the second one already. So what do I do, right? Whew! Got this out of my system. So, Taurus. Let's see what's happening with Taurus. Your timestamps. Taurus. Okay, Taurus. Okay, come over. Come over, Chris. But at this stage, basically, all the... I moved the toilet from one wall to another. Apparently, this is not easy to do, and it's hard. And so now he has to start installing the shower. When that's installed, that's pretty much everything is done. Then tiling. And when tiling is kind of like dried, and that's another thing. I just realized because I bought marble tiles, I need to seal them before they're applied, and then seal them after they're applied. And I'm not sure if this guy knows if he dealt with marble tiles, and I don't want them to get discolored even before they ever see the light of the day. So ordering all of that. So let's see. So we have 2 of Pentacles, Queen of Cups, King of Pentacles, which is you, a King of Cups. Who was the other one? Was it Gemini that had something similar? But there it is. There's like some kind of like, there's lots of people happening in your life. This is a major indecision. So maybe almost looks like a woman is choosing between the two. There's something, but it's going to be possibly enjoyment of the food of some sort. There's an indulgence. This one is throwing me off, so I want to kind of like get the the remake under a Tuscan sun. Who knows? Well, it's the sun. It almost looks like there's like some kind of celebration taking place over here. The sun is really talking about, are you in or are you out? There's like something that is going on in your life which kind of like feels undefined, or feels that somebody is not making a decision. Well, talking about contractors, maybe you're having something like that and you never know if they're in or out, or maybe this is a third party situation over here with you. The sun, to me, it can also mean transparency. It can mean disinfectant, meaning put everything out in the open, and dealing with the cards now being out open on the table. You kind of like cold, somebody is basically shit and you want to know what's going on. So I think this is like what I see happening, because this is like clearly coupling of some sort. It could be a family affair. It could be the boss, and I don't know, it could be a Christmas kind of like you know how people get these company Christmas celebrations, and sometimes people sometimes people bring their spouses over there as well. It could be kind of like additional bond of some sort that is really happening in your case, but it has to be some kind of clarity before you get there. And this is the if, because none of this is happening unless you're able to realize that you might be thrown off your feet, that everything that you prepared is not maybe going to go your way. Because remember, this kitty is just jumping and just throwing you all off, and you're going to be grasping to kind of like try to pull things together. So this tells me that you think that you have everything packed, that everything is tight and everything is working out, but that's not the case. This is what you think is going to happen, and anything can happen. And that's kind of like a really lesson of a day. So you need to prepare yourself for the unexpected. And I don't think you gave yourself enough room to think about those scenarios and how to go in those directions. When you do, when you cover all the angles, I drop this, especially something that cannot go in a good direction, then you'll be on the right path, and then this is going to start materializing as that vision then can come through, because you have exercised all these alternate realities in your own head, and now you're funneling it to where you really want it to happen. But if you for some reason become lazy, because Pentacles are not necessarily just lazy, but they're slow and they're not thinking really quickly on their feet, right? Especially not in the two situation, because this is exactly what he needs to do to balance so many different things, and every single thing can take you off, right? So this is really saying that something can cloud your judgment, and you need to kind of like go and be out in the open for things to really kind of like work out in the way that it really should be. So that's really interesting. So nice. Oh, for this bathroom upstairs, I got one of those tower showers, which are not even difficult to install. Apparently it's much easier than the regular thing. And the one downstairs is like, the whole downstairs is only 7 feet tall, right? And the shower is almost like lowered, so it's like has this, I don't know what you call it, those squares that you put in the ceiling. So it's weird because it's slippery. You step in, and I made an error. I put the bathtub, and I should have put the shower there. So it is an error, but it is error I have to live with, because each time I get in and out, I'm feeling I'm going to fall, which is not a good feeling. So I have to figure out how to resolve the situation. I got one of those mats that you can kind of attach to the bottom, but that really didn't resolve the situation. I might have to go with something more permanent somehow. All right, so we have Cancer next. Ooh, I didn't put the Leo over here. Leo was the 4th one somewhere here. I have to figure out when was Leo. So Cancer. Okay, Cancer. 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 Who remembers who was Leo was after who, that I can kind of like semi-guessed the stamp? Anybody has a stamp for Leo? Oops. This one jumped and flew down. And it is 7 of Pentacles reversed. sevens are connecting to your sign, guys. Three of Swords and Page of Wands. This is just weird because you're just making a decision that something is not doable. Look at that. There is like, this is almost the same scene as from Nine of Swords, the same bed, the same window. Except the good news is this is a cake, and a knife in a cake is not necessarily a bad thing. It's crow. It's weird. I have lots of crows living around me, and they're super smart, but they're eating my apples, and they almost like send me F you message by eating a part of the apple and dropping it. So they don't shake the tree down that I get the other apples. I always get sort of like half eaten or half damaged apple because at this stage I cannot reach them. But crows are very, very simple. They can count as well. But there is this interesting, somebody's writing a journal and left something on a really wobbly grounds because something was really triggered from inside. Seven of Pentacles, because you guys really need to feel your safety, and you feel also safety through your finances, and that not many people know that you need to, that's your reason to accumulate, because you need to feel protected, you need to feel cushy in that situation, right? And it almost like feel like somebody betrayed you, somebody took the money from you, or you feel like they're burning through your resources of some sort. But it's really interesting that this is going toward Page of Wands, and Page of Wands is like action, taking action, or redoing things, or kind of going in a completely new direction. And look at, it's also showing fall over here, which if you're in Northern Hemisphere, this is what it is. And Kitty Cat is saying, follow me, we are going in this direction. A Page of Wands is also about curiosity. This also can tell me that maybe one door is closed and that you're like still experiencing emotional pain or devastation of somebody who pulled something on you or left you. But there's going to be somebody who is going to immediately attract your attention. It's almost like, you know, Ma West said the best way to forget somebody is to go under somebody else. That's kind of like one of those scenarios that I see over here. I want to see this Three of Swords. How is this clarifying? It's the Fool. It was something that you should know not to do. Something was foolish, something was reckless, and maybe you feel of yourself like as a fool. That's kind of like what's happening. But instead of like sulking and continuing in that direction, you should just go and kind of like more think about this Page of Wands direction. Let's see what's interesting. Like this also can be activity and could be a hobby, could be meeting new people, but something is going to come along and completely take you in a different direction. Almost like, I would not say sweep you off your feet, because you're not going to look back anymore. It's almost like it's over. You're kind of like going in a completely different direction. So that is very, very interesting. So what it is. Lois, panel drop ceiling. What about those non-stick stickers for tubs? Well, that's what, I don't know what is non-stick sticker. This one is like the one that you press down, and each time I get out, I noticed the kind of like twist. I was even thinking getting those bars, you know, for the elderly, so grab on it. But since I want to maybe do this downstairs into Airbnb, I just don't want any liability that something happens to somebody, and this kind of like really freaks me out about it. So something I have to figure it out. So panel drop ceiling, yeah. And I even bought the new one to remove those, what is it, gypsum, what is it, fireboard, whatever it is, that's just crumbling under your feet. And the new one are different actually dimension, of course, because they want you to replace everything, and it doesn't really look that great either. So I'm going to return that purchase as well. And this is it, right? You get the contractors, they are like not great with the research, and I even remember, like, realize how they make it laughable. Oh, you have all the gadgets. Yeah, I have a smart home. Yes, and I should not be laughed at because of that. But this is it. You need to overcome their limitations. I need to overcome their limitations and not to engage in all of that. But this is what it is. What you need to deal with. And the last one I think we have is Sagittarius. Even though I have two, who did I miss over here? I have two. Pisces. Did I not do the Pisces? I have Pisces here, 50 to 45. Guys, did we have Pisces? I don't remember. So why do I have 50 to 45 written in? Was this for Leo and I put it in Pisces? Let me see. And the last one is Sagittarius. I'm so confused right now. This must be it. I'm going to just write this number down here. I have no idea what is this all about. And Pisces. So weird. No, we are going Pisces first, Barbie. I don't think I did. Yeah, I don't think I did. So that must be that. I can see. I don't know. Can you see it? I just wrote it in. This must be Leo. This must be a Leo that was in the time. But it will be interesting to see why I was compelled to write this in Pisces, because that's going to be connecting to this, and it's going to be connecting. Let's see what we see more. So we have Queen of Cups. That would be you, Pisces. Then I don't know if Leo's, I think if I remember Leo's, it was something about the family, right? Was it at 9 and 10 of Cups or something? Maybe feeling betrayed by family. Like, I'm just trying to remember the shot. It was a Hangman. I don't remember the last two cards or something. Was it the Four of Wands that happened there as well, going to the next level in spite of something? Was it the Seven of Wands, kind of like defending, naysayers? I think that kind of like was the Leo reading. So this, I guess, guys, Pisces, what I'm saying, you should go and check Leo's reading, because I think it's connecting to you as well over here, right? So Queen of Cups and Three of Pentacles. It could be about a mother. Let me see. It's something, did I not say? Like, hell, you know, I'm telling you, my nose knows. It's again something about the family, but it's a little bit different. Leo was about the emotional expression of the family, and this is like about connectivity. It's about generations, about things that are happening. Finally, maybe you're getting a loan from your father, from somebody who is holding the cash in the family. Because look at this. Pentacles, Pentacles, Pentacles. Three of Pentacles, Four of Pentacles, 10 of Pentacles. So Three of Pentacles is about some kind of skill or some kind of reputation or something that is really, really happening, right? Four of Pentacles is somebody who you approach and say, can you fund my project? And they say, no, I just want all the money for myself. But the Four of Pentacles reverse here. So yeah, they are actually willing to proceed, where Ten of Pentacles is like feeling comfort to express what you want and how you want it. And look at this. Everything is here, from the cats to dogs and to the younger parts. But what is missing here, which is in a traditional Rider-Waite, is, oh my gosh, he's a King of Pentacles. Isn't he here? He's still not crowned. He's a prince over here, and she is his princess, because I'm recognizing his pants over here. And these are those pages and knights over here that he's really training, except there are 3 of them, and there are no girls, which really, really sucks. But this kind of like Tudor style over here that's really happening is talking about the family, and Lancaster pays his debts, and Pentacles is always about what I can accomplish, and we as a family can accomplish more, and everything stays in a family comes to mind. But it's really interesting that I'm seeing this Queen of Cups, and this one is not Queen of Cups over here. It's kind of weird how the light just came right onto this, it's shining on it. So please do, Pisces, look into Leo's reading, because there is a clear message that this is connecting. You may have learned something from the reading, from the lessons, which is very similar to you, except that you should look for the source of both encouragement and financing within your family, where the other one was just you need to sacrifice some sort over here. Here, this is also sacrifice of a sort, because You might be dealing a lot with earth signs here, or maybe even a water sign emotionally, but this is possibly you, I would say. This is you, how you're feeling, what you want to do. And it's also kind of like you fish out of water, kind of like in this situation where maybe your family again expects you to do something, and I think that's where it's connecting, versus you would like to do some nourishing or cooking. And I don't know why, but I'm feeling there's like something about a profession choice and kind of like going in a different direction, and kind of like what your family expects of you, and you're still kind of like doing the stuff, and kind of like how do you reposition yourself. And I really think in your case you're not doing sacrifices, you're actually just really in a gentle way insisting that this is what you want to do, and you're actually finally breaking through in your case, and this is kind of like what you want to accomplish. I'm going to clarify this Four of Pentacles, why it's reversed over here. Loan for a home. Okay. No from a bank, loan for a home. Yes, it's going to be a loan from a bank of mom and dad, or raised funds from the family, and that's what's going to happen. Look at this Five of Wands. There's like something that is lost. Somebody's really afraid of the loss, very, very afraid, and they're not gambling on it. That's kind of like how it really, really worked. Jeb, who does Happy Life? I just tuned in. Happy Catherine. Hey, nice to see you. So glad to see that I have more and more people coming through. I'm just trying to override this like stupid Google algorithm that they have. They're removing notifications from the people. So now I'm just trying to do as little as search engine optimization as possible versus what they tell you. So Pisces, be smart. Something that looks unachievable is going to be achievable, but through different means and different kind of like venues. So I'm going to put then 5245 here, weirdly enough, and we are left with Sagittarius. Did I even open Sagittarius? I don't even know where I left it. Yeah, Sagittarius, you're last this time around. So let's see. Stamp is, you have 21138, which is like 11 2 11 11. So there's going to be something about indecision. There's going to be something about family as well. There we go. We have 10 of Cups, we have a Page of Cups, we have the World reversed. It's going to be an issue with one of your children, I would say. So if you don't have physical children, look, it's a huge torrent of emotion that's really, really happening. It's, well, your birthday is coming up, but not so quickly. It's like you still have to go through this entire transition of Scorpio, and you have a Knight of Swords. It almost like sounds to me that there's like something going on with somebody in the family. You might have somebody who is a Scorpio. You might be celebration of their own birthday, or it's going to be some kind of like eventful thing, eventful celebration that is going to take place, right? Because clearly 10 of Cups and Page of Cups are very similar in flavor. It's almost like the next generation of all the efforts that we have placed into something, and something finally resulting positively as kind of like efforts over a long period of time. But then right after that, it's the World. It's almost like that somebody's breaking free, that maybe your child is leaving home, maybe there's a graduation, and now it's kind of like a bittersweet that's happening in the world. It's kind of like you feel they're not ready, you feel, or maybe you feel they're ready and they're not ready. It's like one of those options where you feel they're not ready and they feel they're ready, and you need to kind of let go of control, because this is what Knight of Swords talks about. It says, ready or not, people need to make their own mistakes, and they are going to learn from their own mistakes. So you really need to kind of like let this process really play out. So meeting the Sagittarius for lunch for the first time today. So they're going to be talking a lot about their family, Chris. I can totally see that over here. especially about one of their children. On page could be a boy or girl. Somebody might be artistically inclined, or it can be photography, or it could be art of some sort, or even pottery that I feel here. But the world, this person's world, is going to become a little bit turmoilish, if you wish, really, really quickly. Sagittarians are really good with refocusing and kind of like figuring out what is important, but for the time being, they can feel a little bit lost. The world, to me, means that karma didn't approve the lesson they learned, right? So this is kind of like what happened when I asked the question. I think the world was reversed, and it's never a good thing to have this reversal, because it's a karma card, so the decision is not in your hands. This kind of has to happen, and right now you're before the panel, and the panel is saying pass or fail, and this is fail card, right? So panel is saying you still need to go through it, you still need to learn it, but this time you're really determined to kind of pass. You're really kind of like arming yourself with all the knowledge and determination, which is really good, which is kind of like where they want you to see. Some people sulk, some people get in a situation thinking down about everything, but this Knight of Swords is like very determined. It's like, look, he's high end, he's like not on a little horse, kind of like jumping, like what do you call it, Monty Python kind of a thing, Life of Brian kind of thing. No, he's like high flyer. Look at that. He can fight anything that really comes in his way, and he's fearless. He's fearless. I really like this kind of like blue thing, because that really represents emotions, and that's behind him. So he is putting goals ahead of his emotion. It's almost like me with my contractors. I have to take my grudges and my kind of like, I want to strangle them behind me, and just kind of like completely go around and to kind of like lead them to where I really want it to be. So something like that is really happening with Sagittarian's life. You need to get over something really quickly. Something is not going to go your way. In fact, it's going to feel harsh, I really have to say, but something is going to really help you rebound, and that's going to be really, really important. So there it is. You need to become this Queen of Wands. You need to find your own footing. And it's not, life is not fun if you just go forward. Sometimes you smell the roses. Sometimes it's okay, you know. I'm studying French, and I finished level 1 and 2, and I was going on level 3 when I said to myself, okay, level 1 was a breeze, level 2 was getting difficult, really difficult, now level 3 is going to be more and more difficult. But I said, why don't I repeat level 2 and then make level 3 as difficult as it was number 2, so it's not extra difficult? And that's where I got stuck. I started repeating number 2, I started being really easy, and then all of these contractors came in the way. I didn't get stuck because of any other reason, but because of the fact that, oh my gosh, everybody's driving me nuts. I cannot keep repeating like a parrot things when I have people in my place all the time. So let's go. The doors. So guys, think of another question that you want to have it answer. So let me think if my freaking bathroom is going to get finally finished, and I get this at least shower curtain downstairs that I can cover it. It's kind of weird when you shower. You know, like how sometimes you can buy this stuff that only goes in a half of the bathtub. Who the hell came up with this idea? It's a horrible idea when the breeze comes through. I want it nice and warm and cozy when I'm showering, and this guy needs to access to everything. That's great, but then you cannot leave me 10 days without doing anything to it, which they don't give a shit. This is not their house, and that's not what they do. So anyway, let's go. Doors. My question is this is going to finally be done? I was hoping it's going to be done by the end of this month. Clearly it's not going to be, right? Unless he works day and night and whatnot. So I'm picking door number 2. What are you guys picking up? This is door number 1 and door number 3. So door number 1, we have strength, and the strength is reversed. So this talks about some kind of commitment. There are 2 8s over here. It's something is not in a complete alignment, if you wish. Somebody doesn't feel like you feel, and they're not going to be telling you that. They're going to be just running their own show, how they want it, in direction they want it, and they'll be taming you, they'll be managing you. It's a really weird feeling when you feel they're treating you like a child, right? And so you can call it. If you call it, uh, then again, it's not a point of calling it, because clearly they are not seeing you as an equal, and the situation is completely lacking complete balance, which by definition means you shouldn't proceed with this. So you can get what you ask for, but you'll have to be very subordinate and very much not having much options, but just be on the receiving end what you get. So if that's okay with you, continue. If you kind of like want some kind of equality or something, then this is not the best direction to go. To door number two, pardon me, this is kind of what I asked for. So it's a 5 of Cups reverse. So don't cry over spilled milk, move forward. But it's reversed, so they were telling me this is positive and it's reversal, but I never seen it as positive ever. I never had a client that it was positive, but the sun is behind it, behind the door number 2, and there is some victory. So I guess it's still going to be lots of frustration. It's still going to be, oh my God, what the F is happening and how it's going on. And this might last for a while. So I see, in my case, this might last another 5 weeks instead of 5 days, even maybe 5 months. But the sun will shine again. This is going to be victorious. If you're asking about emotional thing, then there's like something, there's like some residue of some emotions of a loss that is really happening, and it's really telling you need to move on, you need to move forward. This card, as I said, sometimes means somebody's coming back, but I have never seen it, but I'm still going to tell you each and every time. This means that somebody who kind of like didn't see things and didn't see the connection now does see this connection. In this case, this is supported with these 2 cards. So 6 and the sun. It's kind of victory and sexuality, and so I guess you left an impression on somebody, so that is a really good thing moving forward, right? I'll answer this, Chris, when I'm done with this. And this is door number 3, and it's a 4 wands reversed. This is one of those cards that is always positive, no matter if it's up or down. The difference is this comes like a big thing, it's a big announcement, and it feels like almost like on a game show. Yes, it is me kind of a thing. When it is reversed, it doesn't feel like that way. It just feels like, okay, well, I really worked really, really hard for it. I knew if I put 10 hours in it, I'd get paid, right? That's kind of a things that really happens. So you need to put your work in it, and things will happen and things will materialize. So that is very, very important. So let's see what Chris says. I can see I would make a killing money in my area. Oh my gosh. You would make a total killing. And well, Conrad told me, for example, that he wanted to train people and that he wanted to create a company out of it. And he said nobody ever stuck around for him to be able to train or kind of like grow. And so it can be for different reasons, that he didn't pay enough, or he was not engaging enough, or just simply he found the flimsy types that I'm finding, and now I'm having the same karma with him. So he said he's just taking jobs that he can do. That he said anything that requires building or something where you need help, he would just not do that about it. But yeah, you know, if you can do this work, and renovations are now, oh my gosh, so freaking hot. You cannot find anybody. So you're asking me what are my thoughts on Chinese zodiac compatibility. Hello, Sand. I am not sold on Chinese horoscope. First of all, it's made to be annual. So, and I just think back to people who I was in school with, we were very different. And I understand that generationally it does make sense that annually you're going through the same issues with the other people, which I think is kind of how the Eastern things work. It just would never really work for me. I'm snake in their signs over there, which they consider small dragon, which is for female one of the best signs. Mind you, I just even don't like the sign of the snake kind of a thing. Snake is supposed to be diplomacy. Snake is supposed to be close to Libra kind of a thing. Or dragon, I think, is supposed to be close to, I think, Aries, kind of like that's how they look at it. But no, my personal opinion, I love feng shui, and not necessarily because of the superstitious things that they have. But I was doing feng shui over here in this place and then realized, oh my gosh, I just cannot even do it, because you're not supposed to fix everything at the same time, because that creates turbulence, and the whole idea of feng shui is like to remove turbulence, right? So but I'm positioning things in proper places, etc., and I really think feng shui has lots of applications. That's what I opened this whole live today and saying, maybe I should just release a podcast in a little series of how to do feng shui and have the feng shui kind of like little blocks. So this can do, but I just don't see it. I don't even see a Vedic kind of thing where I'm, I think, Virgo in that one. And it just didn't work for me. But you just cannot go with this, because even in the Western one, how I interpret horoscopes is not the same way that other astrologers interpret that. And I know some people will tell you, well, I have certification, what the hell you know. So be it, but astrology is not supposed to be interpreted intuitively. But I have so much kind of like knowledge from, Kabbalah, from Christianity, from my reading, from my psychology, that I'm just going to say, you know what, I do have some knowledge, but this is like math, ultimately, what means certain planet and how it looks, and you can just simply replace planets with figures of people and kind of like start seeing how they would interact if they're together in the same room, right? You just need to calculate each and every time to see who is in which room, which I think tarot gives you a bit more information. I do like to combine the two. So why I'm saying you cannot go with just what I'm saying is because even in Western astrology, you have different methods of interpreting. For example, I like whole sign system, which means if your ascendant is probably a Libra, then it doesn't break the house in half. So it's like entire first house in Libra, the second house in something else, which can make a huge difference in your reading. It can make a day and night, from disaster to something positive. So I think ultimately you have to check the both and just to see how they link. And I think somebody here, was it Creative Guru, I don't know who, or CBO Music, said that they kind of really, really connect to their Vedic signs. So you have to see for yourself. Oh, you're a rat. Okay. What is the coming up year? Is it the year of the rat or something like that? I don't know. I just like feel that their entire systems are not made so much on emotions. They're more made on compatibility, and that's why it makes more sense to have them annual kind of a thing, versus where I think our Western system is also sort of like slicing the annual into 12 signs, where I find the tarot finds there's even subsections there. So I guess going in more and more granular detail depending on different kind of segments that you use. But if I do the reading, I kind of like cover all of them. So that's kind of like how it looks. So guys, this is it from me. I have to go and eat something because Conrad said he's going to come at 3, which means nothing because he said so many times. It's always something major happening in his life. Like with the painter guy, he always had a freaking accidents, and then he would text me the pictures. I don't care. I just want to know if he's showing up or not. Of course, I want to know that he's alive, but it's just like this flimsy excuses. It's almost like being a grade 2, just something that I'm running thin on patience. But yeah. So Creative Girl, I have more connection to, see, that you are the one, sidereal sign. So she's more with Vedic, which is Sagittarius. My Western zodiac is Capi. I have a friend who is 22nd of September, and oh my gosh, he will get offended if I would say that he's a Virgo, and he's so Virgo. He just did not want to think of himself as Virgo. He would just say he's Libra, which I don't know how he felt he was more beneficial with that instead of kind of like being a cuspy as he was. But that's no. He doesn't want to think of Virgo. Weird. He's like having his own company and life insurance and taxes. Hello, that's not Libra, but it is what it is. Kind of like find whatever you want. So I'm not sure. I don't pay attention except that I see in a placement at a Chinese restaurant. So, but read about a little bit more about it, Chris. See how you connect. I don't know. Rats are generally, which is kind of weird. Like, I mean, who the hell wants to be a rat, right? Or I'm a rat, or I'm a snake. It's just it's right out of the gate. It's kind of like not fun. If you're a tiger or something or a dragon, okay, fine. But rat, no, you just definitely want to go with a Western, that's for sure. So ladies and gentlemen, it was like so fun seeing you again. My apologies for the buzzing sound, but it was, I'll blame it on Chris and on his Scorpio friend that he needs to kind of like get some whatever karmic contracts resolved over here. So I'll see you next time. I'll see if I can do some stuff such as, I don't know if it's a podcast or just a little short video, because with Feng Shui you really need to give visual kits, you know, to explain. And it's just what it is. I'm going to be nothing, if nothing else, is going to be in my library so people can look at it. But I think that can be a useful tool because I know this works, tried and true kind of a thing. And if you guys didn't so far liked, and if you're not subscribed, please do, and click on that bell thing because that's how it notifies you. So they have pigs. They have pigs. Oh, I remember now that you reminded me. I worked for the guy. He had one of those companies. It's called, like, you know how you in the US you have the container store. We have solution stores here, and this guy was like just all ego. He's actually Capricorn. But I think he isn't pig and rat, they are like kind of close kind of a thing. And he was like, who would want to be, I don't know, rat or something. It turns out he is that one. It's just like so amazing how, you know, like, I mean, you laugh at somebody else, which basically you don't even realize that, you know, it's just ridiculous. We cannot just judge people that way, but it's kind of like funny, just to remind me of that incident. So guys, hopefully I'll see you next time. Chris, definitely think about, you know, making a killing over here, because somebody reliable who does it and finish their job. You have a room and board over here. Mind you, it's a little bit up and down over here, but it's going to be something to start. So love you guys. I'll talk to you soon, and don't forget, again, as I said, please like and share. And we're going to see you soon. Priya, you're coming a little bit late, but I'm going to be uploading the timestamps in a few seconds so you can go and check and see the replay. Love you guys, and see you all next Saturday, and have a happy Halloween and all the best.